The alien princess stood with arms crossed, taller than any human in the embassy room. Her violet eyes narrowed as she stared down at Derek, her assigned cultural translator. Your records claim that humans multiply through physical union. I demand clarification. Immediately. Derek blinked halfway through his sandwich and then slowly set it down. Multiply, like you mean reproduction? Her eyes flared with a bioluminescent glow. That term, yes. Multiplication. It is how your species reproduces, correct? He rubbed the back of his neck. Sure, but we usually don't call it that. Multiply sounds like math class. She looked relieved. Excellent. I am most fluent in quadratic logic. She pulled a notepad from her uniform. Show me your preferred equations. He stared. You want to do math together? That is your reproductive act, is it not? Derek struggled. His inner 12-year-old was already giggling in the back of his brain, but he kept his face straight. Well, I mean, technically no, but for science, sure. Let's, multiply. He fetched a whiteboard. She followed closely, watching with intense focus as he wrote out 69 by 2. She hummed thoughtfully, tapping her chin. A popular pair of numbers. They appear often in your literature. He tried not to smirk. Yeah, people get real excited about this one. She stepped closer, inspecting the math. And this results in reproductive outcome? Depends how well you do it. Her brow furrowed. Humans are imprecise. You multiply without reliable output. Sometimes there's a mess, sometimes a miracle. It's organic. She nodded slowly. So, performance matters. Intriguing. She reached out and circled the answer. 138. Not as high as I expected. Derek cleared his throat. Well, not everyone multiplies in pairs. Some people do group projects. She snapped to attention. You permit multivariable multiplication? Consensually. It's pretty advanced math. She looked down at him. You will instruct me. Thoroughly. I refuse to return to my people ignorant of your multiplication rituals. I mean, I can walk you through the basics, Derek said carefully, already wondering how far this joke was going to go. We could start with, say, long division? She brightened. Perfect. Begin at once. He drew columns and started explaining, while she leaned in, watching his hands intensely. After a few minutes of solving fractions, she was breathing heavier than she should be. Your fingers move skillfully over the surface. That equation, what did you call it? Carrying the one. Her pupils widened. I felt something stir when you did that. He choked on his laugh. You're really into numbers, huh? I did not expect to be. Your technique is confident. Well, I've had practice. He turned toward her. Want to try it yourself? She grabbed the marker like a weapon and began scribbling calculations furiously. After a moment, she glanced at him. This multiplication feels incomplete. Why is there no plasma, no hormonal regulation chamber? We tend to rely on instinct. Mood lighting helps. I suspected as much. I passed 2 of your scientists earlier. They were engaged in a primitive multiplication ritual. They were vocal. Oh yeah, that wasn't math, Derek said, eyes wide. That was, biology. I thought it crude at first. Then, it captivated me. I watched through the ventilation shaft for several minutes. He blinked. You spied on 2 people doing it? For research. Right. I must admit, she continued, there was no visible equation, yet they seemed fulfilled. I demand a live demonstration. Derek's brain blue-screened. I want to observe true human multiplication, not just figures on a board. You, Derek, will demonstrate. With me. You don't just ask someone that. She tilted her head. Do you not find me suitable? Is my ratio unappealing? No, your ratios are fine. Curvy. Regal. I'm not used to being a teaching assistant for intergalactic mating rituals, that's all. Then adapt. I am a fast learner. And you are adequate. He made a face. That's flattering. She stepped closer, unblinking. I could request another human. There is a tall one in the embassy kitchen who made jokes about piping hot buns. That's Gary. He'll definitely multiply with you, but you'll need antibiotics afterward. Then you will suffice. For science. He exhaled. You sure? It's not exactly math. Teach me. Okay, then first, we dim the lights. And maybe don't refer to it as pairing variables mid-act. She didn't respond. She was already pulling out a datapad. This will require detailed notation. He reached over and gently took the pad from her. No pads, just intuition. She looked unsettled. And if the calculation fails? Well, there's always next time. Her eyes lit up again. Repeatable? Extremely. She took a breath, then nodded. Then begin, Derek. Let us multiply. He paused. Do you want me to explain foreplay first? Is that a preliminary formula? In a way. I am eager to learn. He looked around. Okay, so humans start with kissing. Usually. She paused. Mouth fluids. Unexpected. You'll adjust. He leaned in. She didn't flinch. Their first kiss was awkward, then softer. Her eyes fluttered and she whispered, "That was not unpleasant. Very little math involved. We haven't even factored in thrust yet." Thrust. Oh, you'll love thrust. As he pulled her gently closer, she whispered, "If I experience a climax, do I shout the answer?" "Sure. But don't scream 138. That might kill the vibe. I shall try more instead." "Now you're getting it." She awoke the next day already processing the previous night's findings. Human multiplication was far more stimulating than anticipated. No equations, no graphs, only chaotic friction and variable pressure. Her mind burned with curiosity. She needed more data. Derek walked in with coffee and an easy grin, but she met him with a stern gaze. "You withheld crucial details," she said. "About what?" "You led me to believe human multiplication was purely theoretical. But the physical component, it's irrational, violent, pleasurable, and very inconsistent." He chuckled. "Welcome to human biology." She stepped forward. "I require a controlled demonstration. This time, we isolate the variables. No emotional influence, no improvisation. Pure replication. Just science." Derek raised an eyebrow. "So, sex, but with a checklist?" "Precisely." He shrugged. "I mean, I'm in. For science." She produced a list. Step 1, arousal. "How do you initiate this reliably?" He took the list and looked it over. "We usually start with touching, kissing, suggestive words, compliments." She cut in. "Compliments such as? Like, 'You look gorgeous,' or 'Your hips are driving me crazy,' or 'That thing you do with your tongue makes me see stars.'" She nodded. "I can replicate this. Derek, your scent is tolerable. Your symmetry is statistically satisfying." "Wow. I'm blushing. Then it's working." He laughed, set the coffee down. "You're cute when you go full scientist." "I am not attempting to be cute. I am attempting to be accurate." She pulled open her top and let it fall to the floor. "Next variable?" Derek paused, stunned for a beat. "Right. Physical proximity. Skin contact. Foreplay. Explain foreplay. Think of it as gradual escalation. Warming up the systems. Light touches, teasing, soft kisses." She grabbed his hand and placed it on her waist. "Proceed." "Your skin's hot. I increased my surface temperature to stimulate tactile feedback. Should I cool down?" "No. No, this is optimal." He kissed her neck and she stiffened. "That sensation, what is that?" "Just a kiss." "Repeat it. Slightly to the left." He did. She gasped and blinked rapidly. "My abdominal cavity just fluttered." "That's called being turned on." She made a note in her pad. Note, left side neck stimulation triggers internal wing reflex. "Is this a standard response?" "Nope. That's all you." She considered. Unique feedback loop. Must record. Derek slowly trailed his hands down her back, and she inhaled sharply. "That's a positive reaction," he said. "I noticed. My pelvic plates are shifting." She looked down. "Interesting. They're attempting to self-align." He stared. "Pelvic plates. They move to accommodate." "I got it. I'm just impressed." She tilted her head. "Why? You've seen human anatomy." "Sure. But yours is way more enthusiastic." "I am eager to achieve climax." "Well then," he said, lifting her gently, "let's not waste momentum." She grinned. "Excellent. Begin multiplication." Moments passed. Breaths grew faster. Bodies tangled. She moved rhythmically but analytically. "This angle, 17 degrees, feels optimal. Stick with that." Friction coefficient rising. Pressure index at 80%. He groaned. "Stop calculating and just feel it." "But this is for science." "Feel it, then record it later." She bit her lip. "Noted. I will let instinct override logic. For now." They moved together, sweat starting to form, her eyes half-lidded, but her voice still precise. "Your thrust consistency is admirable." "Thanks. I do cardio." "I can tell." "Increasing depth." "God, your species doesn't mess around." "This is mild. I haven't even initiated second phase contractions yet." He blinked. "Wait, what?" Her body suddenly locked down, squeezing with impossible strength. He gasped. "That's not normal. That's not human." "I know. That's why it's effective." Derek grunted. "Effective is an understatement." "I feel surging. Data is peaking. Orgasm approaching. You don't have to narrate it. But I want to remember. Just feel it." Her body shuddered. She cried out, no numbers, no formulas, just a long, raw sound. When it faded, she collapsed on top of him, panting. "That was exponentially better than the first time." He chuckled. "You say that like a mathematician." "I understand now. Human multiplication is messy, unpredictable, but when done right, devastatingly effective. And kinda addictive." "Affirmative." Derek kissed her collarbone. So, was that scientific enough? I will need to replicate results. At least 6 more times. Possibly 20. You planning to record every round? Of course. He looked up at the ceiling. I'm gonna die happy. She kissed him again, softer this time. You are a good variable. And you're my favorite equation. She smiled. Ready for round 2? Only if I don't need to show my work. The ship's AI barely had time to finish its greeting before Varelia interrupted with urgency in her tone. Log this, she said, still half breathless. Human multiplication protocol successful. Duration exceeded projections. Result, partial euphoria, muscular tremors, post-activity clinginess. The AI chimed flatly, define clinginess. Subject attempted to cuddle. A pause. Noted. Emotional side effects present. She hesitated. Unclear. Possible attachment forming. Further testing required. She paced her quarters in a robe stolen from Derek, her thighs still aching slightly. He achieved 4 successful integrations in 1 cycle. Humans exhibit unexpected stamina. Or perhaps Derek is genetically gifted. Do you wish to replicate the process? I must. A single session is not sufficient for royal certification. Back in the embassy quarters, Derek looked up from a datapad. So, I'm guessing you told your ship everything. She nodded. Of course. My species values transparency. He sighed. Even the noises I made? Especially the noises. Your climax sequence was unlike any vocalization in our archives. Great. I'm an alien ringtone now. She stepped closer. Do not be embarrassed. You performed beyond standard male parameters. Your endurance is exceptional. I wish to push your limits further. I mean, I'm flattered. Also terrified. Remove your clothing. I haven't had breakfast. You'll burn more energy if we begin now. He hesitated. You're serious? I'm compiling a chart. I need to test your responses under multiple conditions. Hydrated, sleep-deprived, inverted, standing, during simulated stress. I'm starting to feel like an overworked stallion. You flatter yourself. He raised an eyebrow. Are you saying I haven't impressed you? I'm saying I require more data. Then give me a minute to stretch. You will stretch during the act. She pulled him in without waiting. Her lips were hungry, her hands more decisive than before. She wasn't exploring now, she was executing. He groaned, already half lost in her momentum. Initiate Protocol 69B, she muttered. There's a B. Modified angle, higher compression. She pushed him onto the nearest flat surface and mounted with precision. He gasped, barely able to process her intensity. You're stronger this time. I braced using the reinforced frame. Her hips moved with clinical power, but her expression was increasingly flushed. You're reacting faster. Noted. Penetration depth still within safe limits. Not for long. She shivered, biting her lip. Your verbal stimulation appears to correlate with internal contractions. Keep speaking. Your skin's glowing again. It reacts to arousal. Your hands, yes there. They moved in fevered rhythm, her body squeezing and pulsing with calculated bursts. He grunted with effort, sweat forming on his brow. How long can this go? Until the tremors begin. That's my marker. Your marker. I'll show you. Moments later, she clenched around him, full body shaking. Her voice rose in a half-growl, half-laugh as she climaxed hard. He followed seconds later, gripping her thighs like lifelines. When the room stopped spinning, she rolled off and immediately picked up her datapad. You're logging already? He groaned. Post-coital recall fades quickly. I need accuracy. He flopped onto his back. You're gonna kill me with research. You enjoy it. I didn't say stop. She eyed him. You're recovering faster than predicted. Your refractory period has decreased. Maybe I like you. Her gaze softened briefly, then hardened. Don't form attachments. This is scientific. He smirked. You say that, but your moans are getting personal. I am becoming more efficient. You said my name this time. I needed to maintain your focus. You whispered it. She paused. Noted. Emotional leakage detected. Minor. Will monitor. You're allowed to like it. Liking is irrelevant. Efficiency is key. He rolled onto his side. So what's next in your protocol? Standing integration. Against a vertical plane. Then rapid succession mounting. I call it double derivation. Sounds like a wrestling move. It may feel like one. He stood, wobbling slightly. Give me a water break. She tapped the pad. Hydration improves ejaculatory volume. Acceptable. Wait, are you measuring that too? Obviously. He sighed. This is the weirdest, hottest science experiment I've ever been part of. Would you prefer chaos? My previous suitor screamed during insertion. Derek blinked. Wait, previous what? Don't worry. He was inferior. Emotionally or everywhere. Okay, now I am flattered. Prepare for the next phase. Can I at least pick the music this time? As long as it has a rhythm. An hour later, she was panting against him again, her notes scattered across the floor. He lay underneath her, dazed, hair matted with sweat. I think I'm seeing colors that don't exist. Then we're almost done with the baseline trials. I thought this was about reproduction. You're running a boot camp. Human reproductive efficiency must be cataloged. And your output is admirable. Just say you like my thrust game. You exhibit above average pelvic persistence. Close enough. She leaned in, licking a bead of sweat from his collarbone. I believe I could tolerate more data. Then I'll keep supplying it. Are you proud of your performance? He smiled. I'm just glad I haven't died yet. You may not survive final phase testing. Worth it. She kissed him, this time slower, without mention of data or results. When she pulled away, her voice dropped. I deleted the last recording. He blinked. Why? I didn't want the council to see that one. He raised a brow. Why? She looked down, almost sheepish. There was affection. He grinned. You're catching feelings. She stood, pretending to stretch. Nonsense. I am merely fascinated by your resilience. Sure. Just admit I'm your favorite subject. You're tolerable. He grabbed her wrist, tugged her back down. You're not just running tests anymore. She hesitated. No. He brushed her hair back. Then maybe we try multiplying again. This time, without the clipboard. She whispered, just instinct. Just you and me. She smiled. I'll allow it. For one unrecorded trial. He kissed her deeply. She didn't say anything about data again for the rest of the night. The transmission from the royal flagship came through with perfect timing, just as Derek was trying to get his pants back on. Aurelia stood straight, unbothered by her lack of clothing, hair tousled and hips still steaming faintly from recent activity. The hologram of her father, Emperor Voss, flickered into existence. Daughter, your research logs have been reviewed. He didn't blink. The council is disturbed. She crossed her arms. They're disturbed because the findings are accurate. They're disturbed because they're indecent. She raised an eyebrow. You didn't object when you read about the Andromedan tentacle method, but one human mating session has you scandalized. There were 17 sessions. In 3 days. Efficiency. Derek cleared his throat in the background. I'd like to plead the 5th. Or the 49th. Voss sighed. Your mission was diplomacy. Not interspecies fornication. This is diplomacy. Physical cultural exchange. You seduced a lower species. She looked at Derek, then back. No. He seduced me. Bold claim, Derek muttered. But accurate. Voss growled. You will return home immediately. Your breeding behavior has dishonored the court. Virelia's eyes narrowed. I won't return. You won't. Correct. I am extending my study. Voluntarily. You are the next empress. You cannot sully yourself with a man who barely qualifies as a mammal. Derek scratched his head. Hey, I'm right here. Virelia's voice lowered. Then remove my title. If that is what it costs to finish what I've started. Voss went quiet. Then the hologram snapped off. She stood in silence for a moment. Derek approached, wrapping a towel around her shoulders. You okay? I just abdicated the throne. He blinked. For me. No. For this. For the discovery. For the feeling. For the thing your kind does that mine never understood. Love. Not yet. She looked up. But maybe soon. He kissed her slowly. No frenzy, no protocol, no checklist. Just soft lips on soft lip. She sighed into his mouth. After a moment, she whispered, Your method is infectious. Want to be exposed again? Repeatedly. That night they didn't treat it like a trial. No datapads. No AI. No measurements or moan frequency graph. Just fingers exploring, breath mingling, slow movements building to something raw. She cried out his name again. Not for study. For him. Afterwards, tangled in sheets, she stared at the ceiling. Do all humans feel this after? Only when it's real. Her fingers traced his chest. You're statistically important to me. I love being a statistic. You're the anomaly. She turned over, pressing her chest to his side. What now? You stay. We live. We multiply. You want children? He laughed. Let's work on surviving round 10 first. She grinned. Your species is more resilient than expected. You're more than I ever imagined. The next morning, she mailed her final report. To the Council of Purity and Biological Defense. Subject Derek has exhibited persistence, humor, and a uniquely human inability to stop touching me even in sleep. I am compromised. I've concluded that human multiplication is less about chromosomes and more about chaos, warmth, and shared madness. Recommend all future diplomatic officers be warned. Human affection is dangerously effective and deeply addictive. She sealed it, sent it, and turned back to the man snoring in her bed. The AI pinged gently. Final note. She smiled. Log, experiment complete. Unexpected result. I didn't just multiply. I added something to myself I didn't know was missing. She slid back into bed, curled into his side, and whispered, "Let's divide the blankets, multiply again, and subtract the world." He groaned awake. "Did you just make a math joke in bed? I'm fluent now. God help the galaxy."